Hey, what's up guys? So welcome back to today's video, and today we are going to make a loading screen in Unity. And as you can see, I have a basic scene setup. This is the main scene, alright, and when you click play, it loads the other scene. There is nothing much in this game right now, it's just for the demo purposes. And yeah, sure, in this example it's quite fast and easy, but in a lot of real-world scenarios, when the other scene is very heavy, very large and big, it can take quite a while to load it. And then what happens is the player feels like the game is stuck or froze. Like when I play, as you can see, nothing happens, and then you just suddenly see that. So let's do a loading scene similarly, where you'd have, just like you're seeing on the screen right now, you've got a background image that fades in and out, and then some text and a loading bar. And yeah, so let's get started. So first, let's just create a new script. Alright, let's just call this new script loading screen manager. Yep, loading screen manager. Here you go. And in here, let's just delete all of this. So open that up in Visual Studio, and then let's just delete all of this. And up there, what we'll need is Unity engine.ui. engine.ui using TMPro as well. And then here we'll do serialized fields. Let's do a tmp underscore text, and I just call it did you know text. All right, and then let's do a basic list of strings that we can have for the did you knows. So list of strings, list of strings, and don't forget to implement system.collections. Did you know texts, and then let's just rename this one above to display instead of text, display. And also let's just have another serialized field, and this one is a slider, and I just call it progress slider, and I just call it progress like that, progress bar. And that is done. And then let's just have a public image. Let's just call this background image. And then again, I just have a public serialized field of sprites. I just do a list of sprite. Here you go. And let's just also do a public delegate void on scene loaded. Yeah, and then here we do a public static on scene loaded, and I just call it on scene loaded. And right here we'll have a void awake, we'll have a void scene loaded, and in here we just subscribe to this on scene loaded plus equals to scene loaded. And let's just not forget to destroy when we destroy it to unsubscribe, like so. And then here let's just do an enumerator, a coroutine, and I just call this loading screen, and then I just do another one call this request scene loading. Yeah, and then I just again do this plus equals to another void loading string. Yeah, and this one I just call it loading screen, or I call loading screen, and then we can just have call loading screen here, and again I just unsubscribe it here as well. All right, then so this is the basic things, and now let's just come here and do a boolean here. So let's have a boolean stop loading. All right, and then here on scene call loading screen, here we'll have it as true, and this here will be false, and in here will be yield return new wait until scene loading equals to true. All right, and system set collections on top. Great. So now so now it shouldn't do much. All right, but we've got the basic setup. So as you can see, I have actually already written a load screens script. It's very basic. It just takes in an index. It just takes in an index and then just calls loading screen. All right, that's all. So there's nothing at all. So let's just go into Unity before continuing here. In Unity, let's just create a new scene. All right, and let's just have a basic one and save it as the loading screen. All right, and in here we'll have a UI, an image, and let's just have it fill the entire screen, and let's just put one image here. Let's just take this one for instance. We'll have it change later on, background. All right, and let's just hide this one for now because we want to set a colored background which is black. All right, we can just enable this again. Here you go. So what will happen is we will keep on fading this in and out like so, and once it fades in, we'll see one image, it fades out, and then another image will appear. So that's why we have the camera as black. So when this is black or like faded out, we don't see anything. But for now, let's just leave it like so, and let's just do the basic UI. All right, so let's just have a text here and just call it did you know, and let's just ensure that it looks quite nice. Okay, let's just have it in the middle like so, and let's just move it a little bit up like here, and then decrease the font size a little, and we can also use another font if we want. Perhaps, okay, this one looks good, Roboto, and yep, this is good. Now we'll name this as did you know, or label, and just applicate that to did you know message, and this one will be a little bit below it. All right, and this should technically be a little bit bigger as well. Let's just have it like so, and this is up top. Good, and we can actually have this one a little bit smaller and just a tad below like so. Did you know you can use 4 items at once by pressing E, for instance. All right, so this is just a placeholder text for now. All right, so this is how the loading screen will look. And now let's just add a slider as well. So a slider, let's just have it positioned below, and we'll modify it a little bit. So we don't actually want it to be this small. Let's just have it a little bit bigger and a little bit more of an inset, like that, as you can see. And in here, let's just rename it to progress. Save this, and this is the background, this is the handle. We don't need a handle, we can just disable it. And then in here, let's just ensure that interactable is set to false, because we don't want the user to be able to just drag and drop the handle here. And here, as you can see, we've got values from 0 to 1, which is good. And right there, this is the background. Let's just change the sprite, and I've got sprites here, as you can see. You can feel free to use your own, but for now I'm just going to use the ones that I have. Okay, like that. And for the background, let's just use this darker one. And for the foreground, let me just use a lighter tone of orange or any color. Let's just have it as white. Yeah, white I think is the best one. As you can see, this is how it looks, and from 0 to 1. Now, as you can see, there is a small gap, and the way we fix this is to come here, and let's just come here and do this. All right, so it stretches completely. Yes. And this is that. Also, this is the fill. What? And this is the progress. So from 0 to 1. And now let's just ensure that this as well fills it completely. So this, for the left, have it as 0. For the right, have it as 0 as well, like so. Save that, and then we've got a nice looking progress bar. Great. So this will just go like so, and now we can save this. Okay, and right here, just create an empty game object called loading screen manager, and add the loading screen here, loading screen manager. And then in scripts, let's just go back to Visual Studio, and in here let's just remove this. We aren't using that. Instead, have a public void let's actually rename this one to loading screen index. Yeah, index, and let's just have it as 2. Save that. Let's go back to Unity before I forget about this. Let's go back to Unity and open build profiles for Unity 6, and ensure that in the scene list we add open scene, which is the loading screen, and you can close it and go back to Visual Studio. And right here, I'm going to duplicate this 3 times. All right, I replace this with 0. I replace this with loading screen index, and this will be index below. This one will be unload scene async. All right, and then this will also be load screen, sorry, and this one as well will be an async operation. So let's not forget something else, which is to have it as additive. load screen additive, which means that it's going to load on top of our scene. And let's head back to Unity and see how it looks. So let's play this. And if we play, as you can see, it loads the intermediate scene, and then behind it is also the game scene. And if we were to disable everything here, for instance, and if we were to disable main menu as well, as you can see, this is the game scene which has been loaded. That's good. And now let's head back to Visual Studio and load scene async. Let's just unload scene. Let's not have this as additive and see what it does. Alright, let's just see what it changes. Okay, so I could play, and now it loads this one. Okay, good. Great. So yeah, so let's not have the loading screen as additive, because we are unloading this one after all. And once this has been done, what we can do is, for the loading screen manager, here we've got a request scene loading, right? So what we are going to do is, what we can do is have another public void. Let's call this one unload scene. Yeah, unload scene. In here we'll have an int index. Okay, and then just take this line and put it here, and just have it as index here. Okay, and right here we can add the additive again. Yeah, we can have the additive again. And then what we are going to do is have this as a singleton. So public static scene manager index, and then don't forget to have it on void awake. Void awake in instance will go to this. Instance will go to this. Save that. Save. And then in here, loading screen, we'll do on void awake. Let's call load scene manager dot instance dot unload scene, and the scene that we want to unload is scene at index 0. And let's see how this one looks. Let's hit play. So hit play. As you can see, it loads this one, and it should have unloaded this one as well. Yeah. Okay. Let's head back to Visual Studio and remove this additive. I don't think this would be good. Yeah, let's just remove this completely, and this is the way to go for us. That is good. And then just hit play, and this one should technically have this removed. Good, great. And now that this has been done, what we are going to do is we can actually remove the main camera on the loading screen and the directional light, because we won't be using this. And let's ensure that this works as well. Oops. This is the wrong scene, sorry. Yeah, great. So as you can see, we can see it. That's good. Oh, scene to unload is invalid. Oh, okay. I didn't notice that. Let me just hit that play again. Okay.
Did you scrap?
All right. Okay, great. So now we can add the animations to it. And this is okay. So let's head back to Visual Studio. And in here, what we are going to do is we can actually leave this one here, requested scene loading. We might actually use it later on. Because now that I think about it, we could, I mean, there's two ways that we can have done that. Is either we just call the loading screen on awake or on start, or have this other scene called this one, which is also good. Okay, so then when we do load scene, it's going to wait for this one to load. So we have to load it additively then, but then it waits for it to load and then calls this one, which is a little bit more complex. So what we are going to do is we'll just leave this here and just leave it subscribed. Okay, if we can use it later on, we'll use it. And then here we'll have this as unload. We'll remove this, we don't need that for now. And in here in the scene loaded, okay, this is the loading screen. We'll have to do start coroutine here, loading screen. And then what we also want to do is come here and duplicate this. All right, duplicate that and loading screen here like that, and this will be just for this one, and we can remove that here. Okay, great. And then we want to pass in the current index to load. Yeah, so what we are going to do is we can just have this as a, let's have this as do not destroy. All right, so this won't destroy, this will be persistent. Okay, so what we'll do here is we'll come here and void awake, we'll write do not destroy unload. Do not destroy unload, and then we just pass in this. Yeah, and what's going to happen is when we are loading the screen, let me just show you. So if we head back to Unity, and as you can see, this is the loading screen. If we go into game, we don't have it. If we go in the loading screen as well, we don't have this. So if we hit play, all right, and we do play, as you can see, load scene comes here. Okay, so it moved from this main menu and instead went into the do not destroy one. So what happens now is that we can access it via all the scenes as well, sorry. And the way we are going to do this is accessing instance. So here we'll do instead of unloading scene, we'll load the other one. All right, so we'll come here and do load scene, load screen, load scene index, and in here we want to have a public or a public static int index to load. And here we'll set it to index, and then here we'll just access it here and do load scene that index to load. And let's just try this and see if it works. First we want to change this one. So for this one it won't be the load scene index, instead it will be the loading screen, set to level 1. Let's play. So now we hit play, it loads the loading screen and it loads the game. As you can see, it loaded both. And let's also come here and do void call loading screen here. Alright, and let's just take this here and put it here instead. Okay, so here on the void awake I call loading screen, and then I just copy this line and put it in the loading screen one. Okay, and this is the stop loading. We are going to use it later on. For now, let's just have it so that we can modify this in the editor. I'll tell you how to use it later on. Alright, and then once this is done, we can just unload this one. We could unload this scene, I guess. Let's just do load scene dot unload. Oh, sorry, that instance dot unload scene, and this is 2. Let's test this out. Okay, so let's hit play. So let's hit play. Great, as you can see, this works. Yeah, just that we don't actually see the loading screen, but that's fine because this shows us that we are indeed loading the loading screen and then going to the game, which is exactly what we wanted. And head back to Unity, and in here we'll need stop loading is true. So here this one should be true and this one should be false. Sorry. Yeah, false. And as you can see now, we can actually control it manually. So if we hit play here, as you can see, we hit play, it comes in the loading screen. And if we go here and check this, as you can see, it loads this other one. All right, so now let's just control this one and let's go back to the VS Studio, and in here let's just have another enumerator. This is for the did you know, and I just call it did you know rotation. Yeah, and this one will be while. Instead of true, we'll do while stop loading equals to false. Okay, and then while stop loading equals to false, what we're going to do is we'll just set the did you know to different ones. So just to serialize field, call this one a float did you know duration, and let's have it as 5 seconds, for instance. Yeah, 5 seconds. So yield return new, wait 4 seconds, did you know duration, and another integer that we need, int current did you know index, have it as 0. And in here we are going to say did you know text display, the text equals to did you know text of this one, and then let's just do a void here, public void increment index, have it ref int index, and then have it a list of t, call this available, so another integer rather, available item count. What we are going to do here is we say index plus plus, and then we'll do if index is greater equal to available item count. Here we'll do index equal to 0. That's it. And then here we'll just call this one and do current did you know index, and then here we do did you know text dot count, and then don't forget to have the ref here in front. And now let me just find some did you know text and I'll be right back. So as you can see, I've done ChatGPT write some did you know text for us. We've got 5. You can add as many as you want. Alright, so this is to be placed in the loading screen, and in the loading screen manager under did you know text, and in here let's just drag and drop everything that we need. So for this one we need the did you know message goes here, progress bar goes here, background image goes here, and save that. Let's go back to the main menu and let's hit play. And now if we hit play, as you can see, did you know you can use 4 items by pressing that. Oh, sorry, forgot something really important. We forgot to actually call this one. So right here we need to call did you know rotation, and let's go back to Unity editor. This is very important. Okay, so let's hit play now and hit play. As you can see, this is 1, and if we wait 5 seconds, this is the second one, and if we wait another 5 seconds, this is another one, this is another one, another one, again. As you can see, it just loops through everything. Now there is a second way of doing this. Right now it's pretty sequential, so we are taking from 0 all the way to 5 in our case. Alright, and then going back to 0. But there is another way of doing it, and this way is to use a random index. So right here, for instance, we can do random index, and right here we'll just have an int last index and put that as index, and then instead of incrementing it here, we'll do equals to random dot range, and we'll have to 0 to available item count, and we'll do if last index equals to index. Then we can just return, or I just call this again, random index, same thing. But yeah, why is that? Because let's say we get the same index twice in a row, then we can just choose another one again, and let's just come here and let's just do another bool here and call this one use randomized index. Yeah, use randomized index, And in here, if use randomize index, this will be it. All right, and let's just have it here. Random index, yeah, and let's hit play and see if this one works. Let's go back to the loading screen and ensure that the random index is used. Let's go back to the main menu and play.
Yeah.
And hit play. As you can see, this is one. This is some object in the environment. Let's see where it is in the list. So as you can see, this is the last one, some object, and we just had the 0, so which was the first one. As you can see, it definitely works. Holding down, here it is. As you can see, this is random. So now you can just choose between which one you want. Especially if you've got a large number of dips, you can have it as random, which makes it a little bit better. Especially if, let's say, it takes a long time, then the player will not notice it rotating. But yeah, and now let's just do the same, but for the images. I'll just skip through this part. So here I am. I just implemented the same logic, but for the images. As you can see, it's exactly the same. I just replaced this one by this image sprite and all of this, and we can have another duration here. This one is for the background. I just call it PG duration, and let's have it at 5 seconds, and I just place this here. And then when I went back to the editor, as you can see, I've added a couple of screenshots from my game. As you can see, there are some screenshots here that I've used. And now let's just test this out. So let's go back to the main menu, hit save, and then hit play. So now if we hit play, this is the first screenshot, and then that's another screenshot, as you can see, and this is another one. It's random again. As you can see, this just keeps on changing to different screens. And then again, if we were to just check this, it just loads the screen, right? So now let's go back to the Visual Studio, and here is the last step, which is to implement the fading one, which is very easy. So let's just create another enumerator. Let's just call this fade text. Yeah, and right here we want to control two things. Serialized field, let's just have a float for the fade increment. This, let's just put it as 0.01 float, and then fade increment weight. This should technically be 10 times less for a smooth gradient. And right here, what we'll do is we'll do 4. Not that, sorry. We'll do 4 in equal to I is equal to 0, I is less than 1, I plus plus. And here we are going to access the text. Did you know display that alpha? Oh, we have crossfade alpha for this one. Okay, so for this one we can just use this then.
Adapted.
We'll have to actually use this one for the images only. Great. So for the degeneration, here we've got this one, and then here let's just do crossfade alpha and to 0, and then this one is for instead we just have a fade the duration, let's have it as 1, and let's have fade duration here, fade duration, save that, and then we can just ignore the time scale. And then we also want to just again have it here, but this one as 1, and right here we'll have another wait timer, fade out duration, let's just call this as fade out duration, and this is here. And now for this one we want to have, I don't think the images have the crossfade option, does it? Okay, yeah, great, it does. So we can just ignore this completely. Let's just duplicate this whole thing. Okay, let's just keep it consistent, so we can just use the same settings over and again. And for the background rotation, alright, we'll just copy this and put it here. Okay, and then we'll just come here and do, did you know, sorry, it's the background image, that crossfade alpha. Yeah, so the alpha is 1, duration is fade duration, and we can just have it as true, and then just copy that, and here let's just have it fade to 0, and let's go back to the game and see how it looks. So ensure that we've actually set up the durations correctly. 5511. Okay, so let's play. Hit play. So now it technically should fade out. As you can see, it does fade out. And let's go back to the loading screen, and let's just add a small modification, duplicate this background, put it behind, call this black BG for background, and remove any sprite on it and have it as black. Okay, and let's just also modify this so that the background duration is twice as much as one of these did you know text. So hit play, and there is this. As you can see, this fades in and out perfectly, and then this fades in and out again. Great. And now let's just add the final touches. So this is the progress bar that we need to add, which is very easy. So if we go back to the loading scene here, and because we are doing load scene index, what we can do is return an async operation, and then we can just return this, as you can see. And in here, let's have an async operation, scene load operation, and right here where we call this load scene index, we can just do this one, load scene operation, and let's create another enumerator. Oh wait, let me just try something for it. Fixed update. Let's just debug the progress of it. Okay, so we'll debug this .progress, and let's see how this goes, what it prints out. So I'm believing it should be between 0 and 1, but let me just confirm my idea. So as you can see, yeah, great, it's between 0 and 1. Awesome. And the reason why it actually just printed 1 is because it's actually quite fast, okay, the loading of the screen, because this is not a very demanding one. As you can see, it just instantly loads it, so we cannot actually see the loading process as much. But if it was a very resource hungry and intensive thing, you would actually see it. And right here, what we can do is in fix update, let's do slider like progress bar dot value equals to this string progress, and that's it. Now if we head back to Unity and hit play, we should see the progress bar hopefully increasing. Progress, yeah, as you can see, the value is definitely set to 1 as it's right. Great. And now just to ensure that this is the correct one, if we change this, yeah, as you can see, this is the correct one. Great. So now this is complete, and the last part, which I won't be covering because this will be dependent on your specific game, is as you can see, we have a delegate here, which is the on scene loaded. Alright, so if I make a script real quick just to demonstrate how this should be used, we'll just do stuff. Alright, I created a new script called do stuff. Open that up in Visual Studio. So I went ahead and created a small script, alright, which is just here, let's say in your end you'd be spawning a lot of entities and objects, so this would be your script. But for us, because we don't have all of this, I just made a simple coroutine that loops for each second. So right, we can just have it here. I don't know why I did a for loop here. Let's just have it wait 10 seconds, all right, and that's it. So after this 10 seconds, I call the on-screen loaded, as you can see, and let me just implement it here in the game scene. Let's just have it attached to this game global volume because we don't really need that. So it's do stuff. So now if we head back to main menu and hit play, all right, so if I play and if we wait 10 seconds, this is 5 seconds gone. As you can see, it loads the scene. Great. So this is, oh, before I forget, let's just add a small fade in and fade out here. So crossfade, here, the unit display, and this one as well. And on awake, I'll put this here. Also the unit display as well. Of course, there's a more elegant way of doing this, but for now, let's just have it here, like so. And here, save that. And now, if we head back to Unity and hit play, as you can see, it fades in and it should technically fade out as well. Great. And yeah, so that's it for today's video. And yeah, so if you guys enjoyed it, please feel free to leave a like, subscribe if you have not already, and also do leave suggestions or anything that you want to add, or maybe if you've got difficulties or you want me to cover a specific tutorial, please let me know. and I'll see you guys next one. Bye.